Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In just under 2 weeks' time, I start on my attempt to do Land's End to John O'Groats for Cancer Research UK and Crohn's and Colitis UK. You can see the links below if you fancy donating to those amazing charities. But this today is my kit list. Hopefully take 80 days to work my way up through the UK through to John O'Groats by about hopefully the end of May, start of June. I'll be taking you through everything that I do, so sorry for it if it's a long one, but I know nerds like me really like these sort of videos, so I thought I'd share what I'm taking and any thoughts I've got on various bits of kit as I go through it. I've separated them into sleeping, clothing, and then sort of like incidentals, i.e. like electronics, food, cook stuff, all that type of thing. Yeah, hopefully it will be interesting. So let's kick off. Starting off with the sleep system. First and foremost is my tent. Actually, before I do that, I think I'll start off with where it's all going. Everyone will know this rucksack. It's the Osprey Exos 48. I've gone for the 48 because I think the more space you have, the more space you use, and I want to keep the weight down as much as possible on this. Having said that, what I have done is I've added a couple of pockets onto it and also a bottle holder, which I'll be putting my my B3 in to use along the way. These are made by Z-Packs. They're waterproof, so they're really useful, and they're much bigger pockets than Osprey normally provides. So yeah, apart from that, no sort of other modifications. It's a straightforward one. The reason I've gone for the Osprey pack rather than any other is I love the airspeed suspension. It works really, really well, and it keeps you back nice and sweat free, and it's also really, really comfortable to wear. So yeah, that's the rucksack I'm using. Moving on to the tent, as I said, this is the Z-Packs Duplex Zip. So it's effectively, I would say, if you know the Lanshan 2 Pro, I would say it's a Dyneema version of the Lanshan 2 Pro. Love this tent. I've used it on the Cape Wrath Trail, and I've used it on various other sort of treks and short treks that I've done. It's good in the wind. I live in Scotland, so I get to experience the weather, the not so nice weather often here, and yeah, this is a fantastic tent. I absolutely love it. I did have the the Durston X-Mid before, but I just didn't get on with it. It probably was me, but I found it way too flappy, and the actual Dyneema wasn't that strong either. It ended up tearing a bit, so I switched back to the Duplex. I had a Duplex before that, and I've gone with the Zip, and it is brilliant. I absolutely love it. Never lets me down. Brilliant tent. So that's that. Poles which I'll be using, because it's a trekking pole tent, are the Black Diamond. I think they're the Alpine ones. I've had these for ages, and again, bulletproof. They're probably not the lightest ones, but well, they're the carbon ones, so they're not heavy either, but they're really, really solid, and they do the job well. I've got a bit of felt. Still not 100% sure whether I'm going to take this or not. Only reason I've thought about it is because of the insulation value and also the protection value that it brings to me over a longer period of hiking. It just adds a bit of protection to the pad that goes on top of it, so which I'll come on to now. This is the Thermarest X Therm. It's not the latest version, but I love it. It's the only one that I've ever used where you lie on it and you actually feel like it's heated up, because it really reflects your body heat well. I've got an X-Lite, which I may swap out when I get up back into the borders if it's warm, but this one is rock solid, and it does the job, particularly in the colder climates. Sleeping bag I'll be using is it's the Rab, doesn't say on here, Rab Neutrino 600. Love Rab sleeping bags, they're so good. Obviously it packs down a lot smaller than this. It's a I think it's goose down, I can't remember, but anyway, fantastic sleeping bag. Very, very comfortable. It's Pertex lined as well, so it's good with the condensation, managing that. Hydrophobic down, everything. So yeah, really, really, really good, and recommend it. So that's the one I'd be sleeping in to start off with. I do have a Sierra Designs Cloud something or other. I used that one on the Cape Wrath Trail, and the thing I really liked about that one is that it's got, instead of a zip, it's got like a quilt. It's a sleeping bag, but it's got like a quilt pullover thing that covers you up. So and I slept really, really well in that, but it's probably just a bit too cool to start off with. So again, I may swap out that sleeping bag when I get back up into the borders later on. So that's the sleep system. In terms of what I'll be wearing, nothing special here. Classic merino wool top, pair of socks, darn tough, of course. My Trekology pillow, which I get on with, and the thing I like about it, it's got the strap that then connects it to the sleeping pad, so it doesn't fall off all the time, and a pair of merino wool long johns, and I wrap those up in a stuff sack, which is Dyneema, and it does the job, keeps everything dry, which is the most critical thing. Whenever you get to camp, you want to be able to get into something dry. And of course I've got a bottle, and for those of you that know will know. Moving on to my clothing, I've got I've got some step ones, and I've got some icebreaker ones. I'm only going to be taking 2 pairs, one and just interchange them, wash and interchange. All the what ifs, things that you are tempted to take with you, it's not a good idea. You've got to be brutal with this. And so yeah, 2 pairs of underwear for 80 days. Or embrace the stink, David. 2 pair of socks, darn tough. I love Bridgedale's, but darn tough have just got such an excellent guarantee on them, and they're great for walking in as well. So yeah, I use them. And just to say as well, I also pre-methrined my tent and my trousers and my socks and my gaiters. The reason I do that is when I did the Cape Wrath Trail a couple of years ago, didn't get 1 single tick. The guy I did it with got 11, so it just works, and I don't fancy getting the various diseases that come along with that, so that's why I've done that. Also, a pair of sealskins, and sealskins are great, but like anything, when you're walking through bogland, which the Cape Wrath Trail is like, they're not going to keep you totally dry, but they are good for most sort of wet environments, and yeah, they've proven well, and they've got a great guarantee as well. In terms of the trousers, I've got Mountain Equipment Ostras. I've used these for a couple of years now. They're trousers, but they're also leggings, if you know what I mean. And they are absolutely brilliant. I love them. They do the job perfectly. I've worn them on nearly all my trails, and they've never let me down. They're robust, but although they're not like flappy at all or anything, you don't get over hot in them. They breathe well, and yeah, recommend them. They're I don't think they are as rated as they should be. I think they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. In terms of my over trousers, in case it rains, I've got some Rab, what are they called? ProFlex over trousers. The reason I've got these, and they're soft skin as Rab Kinetic, I think that's what they are, Rab Kinetic 2. The reason I've got these is because you can wear them as trousers, or you can wear them as over trousers. Now, I'm only taking one pair of trousers, so this gives me some sort of redundancy that I probably wouldn't have if I was just wearing my, what they call them. I've got some Berghaus pack lights, which I love, but they don't, you can't wear them as trousers, whereas you can with these. And I've worn them a few times and they're great, so I'll be taking those. In terms of my over kit, essentially it will be, let me just get it out, a bit like what I'm wearing now, and I may even take this with me as well. But I'll start off with, because it's going to be March and it's going to be cold, I'll be wearing these as base layers. I'll put the long sleeve one on first, and then over that I'll wear a short sleeve one, and I can take them off if I get hot and swap them around. If it's really cold or windy, then I've got some, I've got a Patagonia Nano Puff. I do like the Micro Puff, but you know, this is a bit more robust and it's done the job, and I've had it years and I love it, so I'll use that. And then in terms of an overcoat, now I've got two. I've got the mountain equipment Lotzi, and I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to take that yet. Again, absolutely bulletproof for all the worst weather, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. So I used this one on the Cape Wrath, and it never let me down once, so it's brilliant. This is the mountain equipment Ron Hill jacket. It's light as a pack of crisps. Sounds a bit like one as well, but it works really, really well. Keeps the rain out, and it's light, which is important. In terms of accessories, so to speak, I've got just a gaiter, net gaiter, and a pair of black diamond sort of fingerless gloves. I do have some sealskin gloves, and again I'm swithering over whether or not I take one or both. Probably won't take both, but what I have found is that when you're using poles for a long time, your hands get sore, so you really do need those. But equally, it's really cold, so I need those. So I still haven't made up my mind yet whether to take one or both. But these are great gloves as well, but you don't want to be wearing them all day. So yeah, still not sure, but they're my gloves. In terms of shoes, well, unsurprisingly, I've got Ultras. I use the Olympus. These are the Olympus 5s. I do have a pair of Olympus 6, but if I'm honest, I don't rate them as much as the Olympus 5s. The 6s have got some padding right at the back that just doesn't work for me, and yeah, so I've got some 5s and I've been using those. I'll still use the 6s when I'm on the trail. I'll wear them out, but then I'll be using these. I've got some Ultra Gators, again pre-methrin, both of these, so if any ticks land on them, then they won't be staying on them long. Yeah, great trainers to wear. Despite my grumbles about them, they're still, I think, the best that are on the market. And because they're zero drop, anyone who ever has back pain, they're brilliant for correcting your posture, and really, really good for walking long distances in. Oh, just to say as well is I've got inside there, I don't know if you can actually see it, I'll show you. In there, I've got the Super Feet insoles. They've got sort of like a carbon plate in them, because as much as I love these, I think it's nice to have a bit of protection from rough rocks and whatever. It's only half a carbon plate, so you can still use your feet to grab around rocks and things like that. But they do give you a bit of extra protection and cushioning. So yeah, definitely recommend those two together. Moving on then, in terms of, let's go on to the electronics. Now I'm taking this, whether or not I end up using it very much, I don't know. It's the Hover Air X, whatever it is. I've used it a couple of times, and it is actually quite good. It's the thing I like about it is that it's really simple. It's a very simple thing to use. You don't have to have a degree in computers to use it, and yeah, I like that. Just press a button and it does what you want it to do. So hopefully that'll be okay. It's also quite light as well, so I'll be using that. Flex tail pump. Whether I take the bag or not, I'm not sure, but yeah, you know what it is. It's brilliant for pumping up your rucksack. It's brilliant for pumping up your sleeping pad at the end of the day. Saves a lot of hassle. So yes, I've got that one. In terms of batteries and power supplies, now I've got two. I may only end up taking one, but I've got the Charmaster, and they're 26,000 milliamps. I mean, bulletproof with both of them. I may only end up taking one. I just want to make sure I've got enough charge to do all my camera work and obviously keep my phone charged up. But we'll see. I'll probably only take one to start off with, and I may bring the other one in when I do the Cape Wrath, because the ability to charge things up elsewhere not so easy. So when you're up in Noida and that area, but yeah, these are absolutely brilliant. I've used these. I think they're way better than Anchor. They're lighter, they're cheaper, and they do the job just as well. In terms of cables, really exciting stuff. This. Actually, I've got that there, but I don't really need that one. I'll stick that one over there. I do have a single cable that can adapt. So let me just show you again. So I do have a single cable that can adapt. You can. This is USB-C, so you can just put it onto straight USB, and then on the other side I've got USB-C. I've got a connector for my Garmin watch. This one, which I will be using. It's a Fenix 6. Pro, and also a mini USB as well, because I've got a couple of things that will need that. So really useful little bit of kit. The only downside with it, of course, is that you can only charge one thing at a time with it, so I may end up taking that bit stuff I just threw away there, but we'll see. I haven't made my mind up fully on that yet either. Also with it, I've got a 45 watt whatever it is charger, so it will fast charge just about everything, so just a standard one of those. What I do like though is it folds down, so you don't have these things sticking out all the time. So that's that. Petzl Bindi head torch. Don't really think I'm going to need it, because by the time I'm wild camping, it's probably, the days are probably going to be long enough that I won't probably need it. I'm starting on March the 11th, and none of the campsites are open then, and so most of that first few weeks I'll be either staying in hotels or B&Bs or friends. So hopefully I won't need this, but hey, it's a great torch. It weighs hardly anything, and if and when I do need it, I'll have it. This is just a 500 gig memory stick. No, it's not. It's a 256 gig memory stick. So what I'll be doing with that is using the camera, my phone, which is a Samsung S22 Ultra. I'll be using that to take all of my videos and then transferring those videos onto this, so that I can retain the space on the camera and don't lose the videos as well. So yeah, so that's that. Showing you the batteries. And I think the last thing on my electronics side of things will be the tripod. That's what I'll be basically using on me. It's a, what's it called, an Ultra Pod. Nice, small, goes in my bag, so that's fine. Actually, while I'm here, the On bag, everybody knows about these ones. They are very, very popular in the UK. I've had this one quite a few years now. It's been a bit battered and everything, but it does the job perfectly, and I can store everything that I need to be able to grab gloves, you know, tripod, phone, those sorts of things. Can store those in there, snacks and what have you, and yeah, it's great for when you're hiking. In terms of water, I've already shown you the Catadine. That will be going in my water bottle holder on my rucksack. and I'll be filling up as I go along with that. But I've also got a soya mini squeeze with a croc, whatever you want to call them, CNOC, bladder. These are, I mean, they go together so well. I just use that, fill up 2 litres, and if I'm towards the end of the day, if I need water for through the evening and in the morning, that works brilliantly. And yeah, Soya, great company, and I highly recommend them. That's my water. Oh, and also with that, I'll be using electrolytes regularly every single day. It's amazing the difference these things make when you're tracking and you're tired. Have one of these and you just feel way better really quickly. In terms of the rucksack, I do have an outer cover for it, but I like to be belt and braces, so I've got, and I use this on the Cape Wrath, it's a Dyneema pack liner. It's just brilliant. It was by Wild Sky, was it? They made it for me, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. Really recommend them. They're quite expensive, but you know, when you get to camp and your kit's all dry after a really rainy day, it's well worth every single penny. Then moving on to my odds and sods stuff. So in here I've got, let me just come a bit closer. But in here I've got tick, mirror, and let me get them out. Tweezers, tick, mirror, tweezers, there we go, mirror, Brufen, which I've used, and a penknife. Penknife's good because it's got clippers in there as well. So I do have some clippers, so I might actually take those out. Toothbrush, underarm toothpaste, and some Cedar Summit wash stuff. Tis what it is. It's nothing special. I've got an instant, another bag of just repair kit really. So there's like Dyneema tape, spare cord, and some pad repair kit, instant field pad repair kit. So if I need that, that's there. Some Compeeds. I will take more of those than this. And then I've got some like nasal strips and earplugs for when I'm sleeping out, and that's about it. So that all goes into there, and then in the evening it's all in it all comes into the tent, and it packs up really nicely into one of these little packing cubes that you can get. It just saves all the hassle. You know where everything is, and it's sorted. So that's there. What else? That goes there. In terms of toiletry, the classic shovel and some wet wipes. Hopefully I won't be using this until I'm way up into the Cape. There's lots of towns and what have you along the way, most of the way, yeah, it's nice to use the public conveniences rather than use this. But if you do, make sure you always bury your poo, and you bury it deep so nobody else has to come across it. In terms of a sit mat, this is just an old, it was a, you know, the Z-Lite that Thermarest do. That was chopped up. It's a pretty, very light, does the job, nothing special, works. And then onto my cook kit. I'm quite proud of this cook kit actually. The challenge that we all face is trying to manage everything into as small a space as possible, and I think I've just about done that with this. So start off with the spoon, titanium spoon. Again, nothing special. I can't remember who made. Oh, Snow Peak have done this one. It's not the longest one. I've got a longer one than this, but it does the job. And quite honestly, you know, it saves having a long spoon in your kit. And then I've got a, what's this, a Boundless Voyage. I think it's 900 ml pot, and it's brilliant because it does, let me, if I can get it open, of course, he says. It's a bit, you know, when you want to get it locked and then you can't unlock it. There you go. So it locks it down when you're not using it. Normal lid with a, you know, sort of a lifter. And in there, so I've got my just some drinks that I'll be using along the way. And then this is quite good actually, because look, nothing falls out. So if you want to get your things out, you actually have to put a little bit of pressure on it, and then it just comes out really easy. What I've got is a what's this? A Soto Windmaster, and I've got the 3-pronged one rather than when you buy it, you get the 4-pronged one, which I don't understand why, because nearly then everyone goes to the 3 one because it's so much easier to use. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit. Comes with a piezo igniter. Does the job brilliantly. It's regulated and it's good with the gas. So yeah, definitely recommend this one. And although it's the only downside with this is that it's quite, as you can see, it's quite long. So it makes it hard to store. But if you get it right, then it works. If you get the right pot and everything, it works really, really well. So so that's my Soto Windmaster, and inside of here I've got, this is only a small can. I did think about taking a medium-sized can. That would have messed all the stacking up with this, but I've deliberately actually decided not to, because most of the time when I start off, I'm only going to be using this when I'm wild camping overnight, and there are plenty of resupply places along the way. So once it starts getting low, I'll just replace it with a new one. But in the meantime, that will do me quite well. And then finally, just a little mug, and that all packs down really, really well. So yeah, really like this. I think it works really, really well, and I would recommend it as a combination if you want to manage your space, you know, well, then it works great. And that can just get stored then into the rucksack, and you're away. So this is the hardest thing of it, just closing the damn thing. So put that down, and there we go. Put my spoon back in there as well. Right, so that's that. And then in terms of food, certainly when I start off, I'll be taking snacks with me. That'll be things like peanuts, you know, mixed nuts, fruit, cheese, biscuits, those sorts of things. But also what I've decided is I'm also going to take just one day's food as a emergency supply. Not that I'm going to need it to start off with, but it's there if I need it. And this is probably what I'm going to be eating most days anyway. But so that has just a Sea to Summit dried meal, some nuts, a bit of chocolate cake, and some snacks. So just some straight bars and things. I haven't put don't think I've put any cheese in there yet, but I probably will do that before I go. But this is really just as an emergency supply if I'm camping overnight and I can't get to a town. Then that's there. Once I get to well, probably to Exmoor actually. When I first get to Exmoor, I'll probably have a more than one day's supply, and certainly when I'm going up through the Pennine Way, that'll be the case. And I don't know, probably I'll need maybe 4 or even 5 days food when I start going up through the Cape before I can resupply. But yeah, that is it. I haven't a clue how long that took, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you are interested in seeing my journey, I will be doing some regular vlogs. So please feel free to like and subscribe. That really helps me. Makes me realise that I'm not just filming it for me. And if you are interested in sponsoring, that would be really, really appreciated as well. I'll tell you a little bit why I've chosen those charities when I'm actually walking, but they are, let's just say, they're very dear to me at the moment. So yeah, so that's it. All the best, and I'll see you on the trail.